How are you? I feel like I haven't been in here for a while, but I have, right? I was just in here with Sherry doing our interview last week, and anyway, my eyes are dry today. I don't know if it's allergies. How is everyone? How's everyone doing? I'm Toni, Dr. Toni, for those who are new to the community. This is a community that's really focused on life satisfaction, enhancing your impact, your satisfaction in life in all realms. That includes relationally, professionally, financially, physically, sexually, all of it, spiritually, right? Because all of those facets are part of us, part of our life experience. And so we don't talk about all of them enough. We talk about certain ones more than other ones, and we think if we go all in one way, right? Like if I just get my diet under control, or if I just make the next pay raise or whatever the case is, we think that that's going to make us feel better, but it doesn't, right? It doesn't. There's nothing bad or wrong about goals. You've probably heard me say that before if you've been in the community for a bit. I'm definitely someone that likes to set goals and move towards them, but we just can't live our lives as if we can't enjoy life unless we meet each goal, right? We can't live that way. It's no way to live, coming from experience. So I wanted to hop on here today because a few times this week and last week, as I have been kind of putting in some of my finishing edits on my book, my reset book, there's a topic that kept coming up. I was like, oh, I want to talk about this. Oh, I want to talk about this. And I didn't feel the right time to come talk about it. So I'm just going to share it here for a few moments in between some formatting and some clients and things like that. And we'll see where this takes us. Feel free to do a hashtag replay if you're catching the replay. If you come on live, I love to hear your questions, comments, even just saying hi, dropping an emoji. The more engagement we get, the wider audience we can reach. Therefore, the more lives that we can help enhance satisfaction in. So how many, I'm sure most of you, but who has heard of virtual reality? Most of you, right? At this point, probably all of you, in fact. For those of you who don't know more about me, so I'm like a people person. I've been a psychotherapist for well over a decade and have always been a people person, although I definitely need my alone time. And my partner is a computer guy, right? Like, so I'm over here on that end of the pendulum and he's over here. And so one of the things he thinks is cool is virtual reality. He's like, yes, virtual reality is going to be like the wave of the future. And I'm like, we're not supposed to live in virtual reality. Like, yeah, that's fun, but like we don't want it to become something that we need. And so we see things differently in that realm, and we see things differently in a lot of things. So it keeps me on my toes, and I think I should definitely keep him on his toes. So you might fall somewhere on one end of that spectrum too. Maybe you're more of a people person, maybe you're more of a tech or computer person. But regardless, you probably know about virtual reality. And so virtual reality has become more and more a thing. In fact, you can buy like $5, $10 goggles essentially that you could just put on your phone. And you could just turn with $10 in front of your face anytime. You could just turn on virtual reality on your phone in your face, which is cool. Very, very cool. Amazing technological advancements. But one of the things, what is it? There's a movie out, Player One, I think is the name of the movie, where essentially the world is living in virtual reality. And my husband thinks that that's cool, and I'm like, oh, like that's petrifying to me. Like I don't want that. And the reason what this has to do with us being here, life enhancement, human development, and our being able to increase our quality of life and impact, is that virtual reality, if we make it more and more a part of our lives, does give us an opportunity to kind of pretend like we are living differently. And so temporarily we can feel better. We can try to escape from what it is that's causing us distress or dis-ease or whatever the case is in our real lives, and we can go into this virtual realm and we can temporarily feel better. Now, in and of itself, there's nothing necessarily bad or wrong about that. But really, if we think about what an addiction is about, I need this thing, whatever this thing is, weed, sex, drugs, whatever, alcohol, whatever. I need this thing so that I don't feel so horrible, so that I can feel better. It's one or the other, right? Like I need this thing in order to feel better, or I need this thing in order not to feel horrible. It's an avoidance or a distraction technique. And we all have avoidance and distraction techniques, but when we need them, when we become dependent upon them, we feel powerless. And when we feel powerless in our own lives, we feel trapped. And then if we feel powerless, if we feel trapped about not being able to feel better within our own lives, now we become more dependent on the things, food, whatever, on the things that temporarily, that fleetingly help us to feel better. Okay? And so the little known secret that I wanted to talk about today with you all that helps actually enhance life satisfaction, that I scoffed at a handful of years ago, is this idea of imagination or visualization. This using our creative minds to essentially create our own virtual reality from within without needing any technology. And if that sounds confusing, what it is that there's a part. So imagine this is your brain, okay? This is the frontal lobe, which is like the rational thinking part. It's here, okay? We flip our lid, and underneath that, so like in the middle, you can't see, but like in the middle, in the limbic area of our brain, in the middle, underneath our logical thinking mind, is our emotional brain, okay? Our limbic, it's called the limbic system. And this emotional part of the brain is kind of like a time capsule. It's how I tend to explain it. It doesn't know time. But the logical thinking part of our brain does. It knows time, okay? So if we can engage the emotional part of the brain that doesn't know time, then it actually doesn't know if we're really fully in an elevated emotion that's really strong, like joyfulness or ecstasy or whatever. Then it doesn't realize, our brain doesn't actually realize that what's causing us to feel that way isn't happening in real time. It's like virtual reality in our mind if we use visualization or imagination to really dream up in the moment, in the present moment, or create in our mind's eye what it is we want to experience here and now, despite the challenges, the tribulations, the whatever it is, the conditions that are really causing us distress that we want to deal with, that we want to avoid, that we don't want to feel overwhelmed by. If we can connect with a vision of what feels better to us, and we can let ourselves feel better in the moment, not forevermore, not trying to say that how you feel, the sadness, anger, all of that stuff, like just to cut yourself off from that, because that's not healthy either. I'm not saying that at all. But as a technique to kind of add to your tool belt, visualization or using your imagination to connect with an experience that feels really good to you, gets that elevated emotion going in a positive way, and your brain doesn't realize that it's not happening in real life. Very similar to virtual reality. If you put on the virtual reality goggles, it feels like you're there, doesn't it? And if you stay there long enough, you can almost forget that you're in virtual reality, if it's a really good virtual reality game, right? Now, I share this because if you're anything like how I used to be, of like really heady, like you get really kind of analytical about things, so I try to figure things out, then using your imagination more, using these creative modes of your mind to connect with your emotions, using this kind of visualization can seem like foo-foo, woo-woo, whatever words, fluffy words you want to describe, but it's actually really powerful, and it's science-backed. Neuroscience backs the power of this. Quantum physics backs the power of this, right? There's so many research studies out there that back the power of it. So if you are struggling right now in a certain area of your life, maybe it's your marriage, maybe it's with work, whatever the case is, see if even in the midst of that struggle, not when you're like so super overwhelmed, because then it's going to be, it's like going from point A to point Z all like in one foul swoop. We can't do that quickly. But maybe if you're just like, you're feeling it starting, you're feeling the challenge starting to kind of bother you, that's the time to catch it and be like, in this more like earlier stages, to catch it and okay, right here, right now, I feel overwhelmed, or I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. I want to feel more ease. Close your eyes, or look at a picture if you have a picture around you, and start to just imagine or visualize an experience of more ease until you feel it, until you really feel it. Not fake it till you make it kind of thing. Till you really want to feel this. You don't want to force it. You want to feel it with like in a flow kind of way, like a natural feeling. Once you feel it, just allow yourself to stay there and play with it a little bit in your mind's eye. Okay, so in your head. You're creating your own virtual reality, but you're not dependent upon anything outside of yourself. And so the difference with your own visualization, your internal virtual reality that you can create using your brain to support yourself, is that A, you're rewiring your brain in a healthy way. When you do this enough, you got to do it with consistency, but you're rewiring your brain. But B, you're not feeling powerless. You're empowering yourself because you're able to do this. You're able to produce the feeling that you want to experience from within. You need nothing. You are not dependent upon anything outside of yourself to make it happen. That right there, being able to empower yourself from within, that is the difference maker of being able to use the tools that I teach my clients, that I do myself. That is a difference maker of being able to pull those in and make them work for you. Those tools make them work for you so you can live a healthier, happier life, more life satisfaction, more impact. That's a difference maker of doing that versus being back here feeling like you have to keep going and being in action and putting in so much effort and you're trying all these things and then your emotions are going haywire and so you're shutting them down or they're flooding you and so you feel overwhelmed until you're exhausted. Because you can logically know a ton of tools, but if you're not implementing them effectively, you just feel like you're doing the things like you're vacuuming without it plugged in kind of thing, or you're trying to, I don't know, toast a piece of toast without plugging in the toaster, but you're still putting the toaster, but you're still putting the bread in and pushing it down, right? Like you need to plug into something, and that plugging in is within you. And if you don't know how to do that, if you don't know how to use your internal resources, no amount of external resources can ever compensate. That's where the addictions come in. And we all have some level of addiction in some way. Of course, there's a variety of the spectrum, ranging in intensity, of course, and some are even life-threatening, of course, right? But have this awareness of where you're at, what you're doing to help yourself, and what's not working. This is really what my book walks you through. Okay? And if any of this resonates with you and you're like, not sure about this, or like, I totally don't know how to internally resource myself through the crapshoot that I'm living right now, or it looks so awesome, like at work because I'm doing awesome, but like in my relationship, I don't even know. I can't, like, I don't even know what else I could do to fix it. If you're anywhere in that realm, your internal resources are what I want to reintroduce you to and help build those up. And so that's why I created the program Amplify. All right, so it's in its beta stage, which means right now I'm offering a beta course, and the course that I'm offering currently is for women, and it's a group community course. Okay, so if you are a woman that wants to amplify what it feels like to feel good, to increase satisfaction in your life, all aspects of it, then I invite you to apply for Amplify as a beta level participant. You get 70% off when you're a beta level participant of the retail investment. And so it's really going to be a win-win. You get to give me your feedback, so I hone in even more as I continue to create this course. And then also you get the benefit of an investment in yourself. Okay, and you get to maximize, amplify your internal resources in a way that works for you individually. Now, we can all do this, but we're all at different stages. So if this is calling out to you, or you're thinking of someone that comes to mind while we're talking about this, reach out to me. Let me know. I'm here to support you on. If you have questions, or I said something, like ding, 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 like something goes off for me, like totally leave that below. It might inspire someone else that really needed to hear what you want to share, what you have to say. Or it might allow someone else to gain benefit from a question that you asked that they weren't sure how to ask. They weren't sure how to word. It might even help me deepen my support and my service to you all in this community as well. All right, so let's all support one another. As always, so glad to be here with you all. I know time is precious, so thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, have an amazing day. I'll see you later. Oh, don't forget, I'm going to be doing the motivation and time creation 3-part series. Each part builds off of one another. So it's free. It's going to be free in here. But it's only free for 72 hours because it is one of my paid courses. So I'm kind of renovating it. So I'm going to offer it to you all here, totally free, here to support you along the way as well. And so if you're someone that wants to feel more motivated or, kind of gain more time, create more time in your life and your schedule, I invite you in. And if you have any friends, family that you know would benefit, please invite them to join the group. It'll be each series, each part, there's 3 parts. Each part will be up for 72 hours before I remove it. So you all will have some time to be able to incorporate that into your life. All right, y'all. That's it. That's it for today. Bye.